This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking basketball, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles. 25 Whistles.
Welcome.
Oh, that was weak, man.
Can you beat that?
Yes, I can beat that. You ready?
Go ahead. All right, let's start the show.
That was weird, too.
Speaking of which, Eddie has been coaching his son's 9-year-old basketball team. Mm-hmm. Didn't end up very good, huh?
It really didn't, and it's unfortunate because the end of the season was strong. Like, we finished like winning 5 in a row, and then we go into the tournament like feeling really, really good. But I don't know. Ask Kevin, but when we walked in there, it was the early game. It was at 9 a.m., and I asked all the kids to be there at 8. That way we can run through stuff. But just from the beginning, they were distracted. They were tickling each other, and like I had to stop.
Oh, they were 9. Oh,
that's what I was gonna say. They're 9-year-olds.
No.
Championship mentality.
Yeah. That's no excuse.
You didn't have
Coleman.
him in a good place, coach. It all goes back to the coach.
Well, see, I had to stop the pregame warm-ups and be like, everybody stop. Look at the team we're playing, and they were on the other side of the court, and they're all there doing their drills, man, like layups and doing like jump stops and stuff. And I go, do you see any of those guys tickling one another? Do you see them like rubbing the hair on their heads? No, exactly. And that's why they're going to win if we don't start getting our act together.
Isn't that a culture issue? And who sets the culture?
Why are you always on their side?
I'm not on their side. I'm just saying
You are.
That's not an excuse that your kids are acting out if you're the coach of the kids.
Kevin and I, dude, we talked every practice, like, why don't they listen to us? We cannot grab their attention. It's like even Kevin has to be like, guys, listen to coach. Look at him. Listen to him because they don't listen.
What's the problem, Kevin?
Yeah, that's a huge factor. Is you watch these other teams and you're like, these kids are all focused. And I always ask Eddie, I'm like, Eddie, I don't have a kid. I don't have a 9-year-old. So I need to know, where's the line drawn? Like, how much can I yell at these kids? Can I punish them? Can I make them run? Can I make them do push-ups? I don't really know because I don't have any kids. And he always tells me, no, dude, just lay into him.
Make him cry. Make him cry.
And I'm like, well, I don't want some parent
And then
come up
Kevin
to
gets
me.
in trouble, and he's like, I don't know why you did that, man.
Yeah, it's weird. I told him not to.
So it's over.
Yeah.
We're done. And yeah, we didn't do anything in the tournament. We lost both games. It was tough. And yeah, and can I say something? I almost got kicked out.
He did.
And I'm not proud of it.
What?
Yes, dude. I'm not proud of it. And me and the ref we talked about it afterwards. But I was right.
What happened?
Kevin will have my back. The coaches on the other team, I talked to them later. They're like, dude, I'm on your side. But this ref was just loud and like, violation, red team, nuts ball, we're going that way. He's just yelling the whole time, but he wouldn't call anything. He was just call like lane violations, but he wouldn't call reaching ins. He wouldn't call traveling. He wouldn't call anything. And finally he called one, and I said, ref, you could have done that 10 times ago. And he blows his whistle. He looks at me and goes, warning, technical. If you get one more, you're out of here. And I'm like,
so you got a tech?
That's all you said?
I was like, all I said was you could have called this.
But you got a tech or you got a warning?
I got a warning, but he literally said, you're out of here one more time.
Yeah.
But you need 2 techs to be kicked out.
Not according to this guy. Not according to this guy. So anyway, I literally sat down and asked Kevin. I was like, fine. I sat down and he kept yelling at me, being like, I'm doing my job. Let me do my job. You do your job. And I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm sitting down. And then Kevin chimes in. This is awesome.
Yeah, he came back at Eddie. It was all done for like 20 seconds. All done. Okay, let's keep playing. And this guy had an ego boost, and he was just like, you know what? You're not allowed to talk to me like that. I will talk to you like this. And I said, dude, we get it. You got the jersey. You got the stripes. You asserted your dominance. We're moving on. Let's go. And he's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. And we're like, dude,
That's what I
But
thought.
to his point,
Wow.
sometimes you have to deal with that in life and in 9-year-old basketball, where somebody comes in that has some authority, that maybe it doesn't feel comfortable to you because they're a douchebag, but that doesn't mean that you can fight it and win. Sometimes you just have to swallow your pill
Sure.
and find an effective way to communicate with the douche.
Right.
And it sounds like you didn't do that. Did it cost you the game? Or
Not
was
at
it
that.
out
No,
of
we were
reach?
already out of it.
yeah,
we were already out of it.
And you should have got kicked out. That'd been awesome.
I told Kevin that. I'm like, well, we had one more game later with him reffing. But I did go up to him afterwards and I said, hey, ref, I just want to apologize. That's not me.
Oh, you did?
I
Good for
did.
you.
I did. I'm sorry about that. Like, that's not me. He's like, listen, man. He's like, thank you for saying that. But listen, this is my Saturday. I coach college. I ref college basketball. I do all sorts of stuff. This is really just on my spare time that I do this. So, I don't want to hear that from these coaches or you guys or the parents or whatever. And I get it. But listen, let me tell you my point. The kids are really what this is all about. And if you're not doing your job correctly, the kids aren't going to learn basketball. Like, that's all I was saying. He's like, yeah, I get it, but I'm not calling anything today. This is 9-year-old basketball. I'm not calling anything. I'm like, I think you should. I think you should, because how are we going to teach him not to reach in, not to try?
Like, I feel you, but it's also his job to make the rules. I mean, refs will let teams play in college. They will not. They will enforce hand checking a lot more on a Tuesday than they will a Saturday.
Sure.
So
I wanted to let it be known, though, it's not about me. I'm not fighting for me.
It's about you.
No, I wasn't.
This feels like it's about you, and you lost. Had your team been winning.
Now, why are you taking the ref side?
I'm not. I'm taking the side of sometimes you have to deal with people that you don't like, that you don't feel are acting in a way that they should. And it's not always push back as hard as you can. Sometimes it's, all right, how do I win this with honey instead of vinegar?
The crap, that's exactly what he said.
I have
Did you talk to him about
No
this?
way.
No, I have to deal with people all the time. Like in my professional space, I just cannot stand. But they have no idea. And I try to make their life as easy as possible. So I don't have to deal with them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't like them. I want to deal with them. But so I'm going to make their life easy. They think we're best friends. I can't freaking stand them. But I'm not going to be an issue. And I know I can't push hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help them do their thing so they help me do mine. And yeah, sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow, and you got to humble yourself to do it. But in the end, all I care about is net results. That's it. And my net result is I'm closer to my goal, or I've finished A to Z. If I'm pushing, my pride, gets whacked a little bit. Otherwise, yes, it's a you thing.
Well, we apologize. We were all good. We talked,
Sounds like it.
and then he officiated the noon game, and we're fine.
He also didn't know the rules.
He really didn't, man.
It doesn't matter, though.
He even asked. He's
It
like,
also-
wait, can you do this? I'm
It
like,
also
"What?"
doesn't matter. He's a freaking ref.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
I bought him donuts too.
He did.
Nice. I do like that.
Okay.
That's
He
good of you.
did. He did.
What did you learn, though?
Nothing.
No,
Just
you
that
did.
These guys
You
don't
learned
give a crap.
that if you have a huge problem with somebody and you can't actually win that fight, it's not worth it for your ego to get into the fight if you can't win it. So let's figure out another way to win it that's not.
I don't have an ego. I never fought about me.
You absolutely have an ego with coaching. And this guy was like stepping in on you and was like, this is how to do it. And you're like, oh,
No. But he had the ego.
that's great. But I agree. There's nothing you could do about it.
There was nothing I could do about it.
So why make it worse, which is what you did?
No, I sat down. I didn't do anything. I sat down, and he kept yelling
Hey.
at me.
Your buddy over
I made
there
it worse.
firing it up.
I made it worse.
Which I was like, I loved it though. He had my back. I love
like
that.
it. Well, it sounds like the season was
That was-
the tale of 3 seasons. Real
Yes.
bad, then good, then
Yeah.
forgot we're bad again.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks, Coleman.
That is true. Coleman, what basketball games did you go to over the weekend?
I went to, on Friday, Troy, Coastal Carolina. Then Saturday, I had a doubleheader, was in Birmingham for Sanford Furman, and then went up to Western Kentucky to watch them play UAB, my second time watching UAB in
Same
3
day?
days. Yeah, same day.
So like a one.
Yeah, it was at 1 o'clock in Birmingham, and then it was a 3-hour, 50-minute
Wow.
drive to the 7 o'clock game at UAB, and I got there right at tip.
Did you have a
Or to Western Kentucky.
referee that was a real dick? Did you see him? Any of your games?
No, I didn't.
They're out there, man.
Yeah,
Trust
really.
me.
Coleman's
Clearly.
fighting with
Sounds
the
like
ref.
The same ref.
And then Sunday, I was at Memphis hosting Cincinnati.
Okay,
That's cool.
that's a little more big time.
Absolutely. FedEx Forum, that was far and away the nicest arena that I've been in.
Oh, do they play at FedEx every game?
I don't know if they do every game, but they did for that one, and I would guess there was 10K there.
Wow.
I mean, it was a good showing.
Did we try to get you in that one?
Yes, and I think Memphis big timed us. I don't think they responded. They've been one of the few, if only.
Okay, we have to curse them.
Hard away.
Mike, we tried and no luck with them.
Big time.
That's so weird. Because who the heck's Memphis? Who cares?
Penny,
Everyone
dude.
else has been so easy to work with. But yeah, I think with Penny.
With
I
Penny,
mean,
man. Big timed us.
Mm-hmm.
NBA star.
Who is Memphis? Nothing. A team that flails out every year, that has all the talent in the world, and then ends up sucking hind teat by the time the tournament comes
No,
around.
correct.
I think there's something.
Correct. And Larry Brown's not there anymore, right?
Is he an assistant still?
I don't think. No.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think he was
right
last
behind
year,
the
not
bench. I
this
don't
year.
think
Like
so.
that matters. Oh, if Larry Brown was there.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
Me
they're
and old
all,
Larry go
they're
way
all
back.
NBA dudes, legends.
So, but the other games you had good seats and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Belmont, I guess that was Thursday, but I mean, they set me up directly at half court. UAB, I ended up sliding in courtside. It was great seats for content.
dude, that's crazy. Like
Yes.
I'm getting jealous, but
Yeah.
it's just so much basketball.
Yes, a ton of 63 games, 61 days. My regular season's over, so it'll be conference tournament time
Wait,
here
you
on
did
out.
63 games in 61 days?
Yes, sir.
That is
7 doubleheaders,
that is
missed
insane.
5 days.
And You still know your wife, right? You guys are,
Yes, I do. Yes,
She's
I
not
do.
here today.
Yeah.
She'll be back out with me the 3rd.
Well, what did she have to say about her experience here on
Oh,
the end of last week?
she loved it. She was a little surprised. I mean, she wasn't expecting to be a guest and wasn't expecting to be called on that much, but I thought she handled herself.
Yeah, I thought she
was
handled it
awesome.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was great. Eddie told me a funny story because we were leaving from doing Friday's show, and Eddie, you were like trying to get Coleman's number.
Yeah, because he was saying he'd be back and come to another basketball game in Nashville. And I said, dude, if you come back and they do a play, I'll go with you. So here, put your number in my phone. So I gave him my phone, and he put his number and called himself. That way he can have the number. And then like 30 minutes later, I get a phone call on my phone. And I pick it up. I'm like, hello? And it's Coleman. He's like, I got a number. I got a call from this number. Not sure who this is. I'm like, Coleman, it's Eddie. Like, you called yourself.
How did you figure that so quick?
So what happened was the number that popped up said, I wasn't thinking about the last name.
We'll beep
I
that
saw
part
Lauren.
out.
Thank you.
We'll beep
Sorry,
that part
sorry,
out.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so there's that works here that's been emailing
Well,
me.
we'll beep
so I
that
was
part
like-
out.
Yeah, no more Lauren.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So I thought it was her calling. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something I missed. Called back. No, Eddie. Forgot that I had called from his phone calling me. I thought I had called him from my phone.
But Bones, the way he called it is, I got a call from this number.
Hey, who is
That's
this
how I do every
exactly?
number. Who are you?
Did he have business voice on? Like,
Oh, for sure. For sure.
this is Coleman.
Yes.
Is this Memphis?
But now you guys are all good. You got your number saved and
We're
everything?
good, man.
Yes,
We're
I
good.
do.
Kevin, how's your weekend, buddy?
It was good. Outside the 2 losses, I went golf club searching, as we talked about last week.
Okay, this is what I need. I'm going to say this on the record because I got a bunch of information. I'm going to try to help you. Reed is here. Reed's everywhere I go. He's everywhere to me. And so Reed shoots pictures and video and edits, and it's just a massive part of what I do daily in all these different ways. So Reed, this is what I need. I'm going to say it on this. If you can go into my analytics on my Instagram and get anything that has a puma or a cobra on it and give me all the analytics on that and put it in a form, I will send it over to them and just go, I was supposed to do it already. I forgot. Hey, here's all the analytics. And we even did this video where my guy's talking about finding golf clubs. And I'm just going to see if they bite on that content if you go on looking for golf clubs. Because I'm not going to say, give me some free golf clubs.
Of course.
Because I don't want to ruin my free golf clubs.
Right.
And golf stuff that I get. But let me see if they bite. And if they go, oh, if he wants some, he's on your show, maybe we can help him with something.
Awesome.
But that's all going to depend on Reed's ability to get me this information.
Come on, Reed.
All right, Reed. I'm looking at you.
So that's like views and just make it look good. It is what it is. And then some of those videos have hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to see, we're going to put some chum in the water and see if anybody, when we send them that video, because they do have it, if you go and I'm looking for golf clubs and I'm like, I'm a Cobra guy, we'll see if they step up.
Awesome.
It'd be a good decision for them.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, of course, for you say that.
I think it'd be the best decision they ever made.
Yeah, this is Coleman. Who's this? Who's calling? A couple things. First of all, that Iowa-Michigan State game, really one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life in a college basketball game. Did you get to watch? You probably didn't watch it live, Coleman. Did you watch it either the full replay or see the highlights of it?
I got to see the highlights of it, saw the shot to tie the game up. But yeah, coming back from that deficit.
10 with like
Unbelievable.
a minute left.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the thing is, Michigan State was making the free throws until the very last free throw. All they do is make it, put it up 4, and he missed the free throw.
Mhm.
I mean, it was one of the most unbelievable games, last minute and a half of college basketball game as I've ever seen. And I was watching the Arkansas game. And we played pretty good against Alabama in Alabama. We lost by 3. I thought, listen, we were up by 8 or so at half. It's tough to go in there and win, and I was a little irritated we ended up losing that one. But that Michigan State-Iowa game, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And so if you haven't seen the highlights of that, go look at it because it was 10 with maybe even like 50 seconds left.
To relate to that game a little bit, but to tie it to the small and mid majors, I had a game that I bet on, a pick'em, Little Rock, so a little close to you, Bobby.
UALR, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Playing Lindenwood. This game, the winner gets to keep their season alive, go on to the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament. The loser, done, season over. Little Rock up 17 points with under 5 minutes to go in the game. I'm chalking it up as a win. Gets sent into overtime. They lose.
How do they lose? Okay.
17 points.
You went yada,
man.
yada, yada there.
Right.
Overtime.
Turnovers, 3 balls. Turnovers, 3. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Really?
Lindenwood got red hot. They were at home, got the momentum, and Little Rock choked.
So Eddie and I, should I text Chesson and see if he's around.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes.
Let me
Good
see.
old Chesson Hadley. You know him, Coleman?
No, I know that golfer,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know him personally.
That's what I meant. I didn't.
We're talking about you on the sports show. I do now. Are you available to talk back?
Because that would be cool.
If not, no worries. Last minute for sure.
Old music.
Love it.
So Eddie and I both follow a golfer on the PGA Tour named Chesson Hadley. Now, I was at Pebble Beach in the week of warm up because I didn't get to play in the tournament because I went to the Oscars. No, what was it called? The Grammys? Whatever. it was.
Grammys. Music.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, music.
And so, but I was just moving in a crowded room, and there was a dude next to me, and a little taller than me. So I was like, I hate this guy.
A little taller.
Yeah, I know. And in like a really like, you know, some sheets have a really high cotton, like a thread count, like his vest looked like his high thread count vest. And I was like, how's it going, man? He goes, hey, man, what's up? We're just kind of talking a little bit because we were just shoved into each other. And he was like, I'm Jason. I was like, cool. It's kind of loud. I said, Eddie, I met Jason. He goes, his name's Chesson. I said, oh, I just couldn't hear.
I'm trying to
It's
whisper
loud.
in a loud room.
Yeah.
It's not Jason. It's Chesson.
So Chesson played at the Honda Classic over the weekend. He's a PGA. I mean, he plays all these tournaments. So I have him on my ESPN alerts that if he, wherever he is in the tournament, it just shows me him up there on the grid. And he was like 12th, 11th. I think he got 8th at one point. And so Eddie hits me up and he goes,
7 was the highest I saw.
Eddie goes, let's go. Let's bet him. Our guys. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about betting my friends who I've met one time. But we text every once in a while.
Friends.
And so I even texted him earlier that day before he said this. I was like, hey, man, looks like you're playing great. Congratulations. He's like, yeah, la, la, la. And so we bet him. And he didn't end up playing terrible, but I think we didn't win any money because I bet him
We
to win
didn't.
it, to finish top 5 and top 10. And I think he finished like 23rd or something.
Yeah. I think the highest I saw him was tied for 7th, which is like.
You know what money he made?
No.
Kevin, can you look that up, see what money he made this weekend? I wonder what, like, whatever he finished, 23rd, makes on the Honda Classic. And if he calls.
Should we have some guesses?
Yeah, where did he?
I'm gonna guess 140K is what he made.
Man, I have no idea. I'm going to guess $95,000. It's got to be more than that, right?
It looks like you finished 29th, though.
Okay, 29th. We don't know anyway. Do they even make that public?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The purse is public.
I think
Okay,
I found it.
what do you got? Whoever said that?
46 grand.
Oh,
I'll take it.
less than I thought.
Let's
Hey,
go.
Yes,
that's pretty
however, the issue
You
is
have to pay back sponsors and stuff.
no. With those golfers, they have to basically pay you have to pay your own way. It's like Andy when he played tennis, Roddick. Like he was like, it's hard for players that aren't in the top 30 even to travel around the world.
Yeah.
'Cause you got to pay for all your flights, all your hotels. Like you're just a worker. And you go and you get in these tournaments, they allow you in. It's not like they are sending a plane for you.
But isn't that what the patches are for? Like
Well,
the-
so that's also how you make money
give
too.
me the patch and then you fly me there.
And some, well, depending on,
What do you say?
that's not him.
Did you text the right person?
Yeah, the company just, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I get, after the show's over,
Oh, no.
you know those people I talk about?
Here we go.
No. It's like I turn my phone over so I wouldn't see it, but then I got to wait and see if Chesson messages me back. But yeah, it costs, but some of those you get paid based on how good you are.
Yeah.
And then you get paid based on how good you are in the tournament. Like you can actually make bonuses, but you won't make a whole, let's say you're a golfer that's ranked 83rd.
Okay.
And you sign a deal with Tide Bleach to wear it on your hat. They're not going to pay the 83rd guy a whole bunch of money up front because you're 83rd. They're going to give you a little something. It's going to help for sure. But also they're probably going to have in the contract, hey, if you make it, you make the cut, you finish top 10, because that's just more placement on TV, social media,
Right.
etc. So that's tough.
Yeah, man. And so these tournaments, they got like 150 people playing. Like it's hard to be 83rd.
I hope
You know?
I hope Chesson doesn't like, I don't want to be this guy's friend. He's messaging me to like be interviewed.
You think you're texting him a little too much?
Yeah. I never had a professional golfer friend before.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. If you ask me the truth, yeah. I mean, I first texted. Let's just see. I'll read them to you. No shame here.
I like the transparency.
How many times has he responded to your texts? Because if
Oh,
you're,
it's far. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's way more blue, which is me,
oh
than
no,
gray.
oh
hen.
no, Bones is not good.
I know. Yeah. So on Thursday, because we sent the introductory messages back on January 31st. Is that when the thing was?
Yeah, right around there.
Where I said, "Hey, Bobby, cool." On Thursday at 9:20 a.m. because we haven't texted since then. There was no reason. Well, I wanted a couple times, but I had to restrain myself because I had questions. But I didn't do it. I said, "Hey, man, hope you're good. Been following you. Saw you're in Florida this weekend
Oh no.
because he's playing that tournament, Honda Classic."
You're checking his schedule.
Yeah.
You probably got there on Thursday. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Hope you crush it. Stay healthy. Just want to send a note saying that's pulling for you. Bobby. Right? Cool. I mean, it sounds like I want to date him, but whatever. He's married with kids. And then he writes back, because I sent that at 9:20 a.m. He sent this back at 12:30 p.m. It's like 3.5 hours later.
You think he's been talking to himself, being like,
I'm thinking, like, do I even want to respond to this guy? Then he wrote, "Bobby, what a legend. Thanks for the kind text. Yeah, down here. Played nicely today. Hope you're good. And I've switched from," he had a different radio station to listen to. He said, "Because of you," he said, "I'm all in on Bobby Bones. Thinking about putting a logo of your face on my clothes."
That's funny.
He's flirting back.
But he's
Yeah,
serious.
right?
And then I don't know why. I think I meant to send this to Eddie, but it was a screenshot of him being in the top 10.
Oh.
But I sent it to him. I didn't realize I did that.
No.
Oh, you sent it to him?
Yeah, I don't know why, because it
He's
doesn't
like,
make
bro, I
sense.
know where my standings are.
Now that I look at that, there was no reason for me to do that. You know how sometimes you text the wrong person because you're talking about them?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, God.
Yes.
At least it was that. And so then I said, hey, I said, wait, we're in East. So we're in Eastern Tennessee, going to watch golf all day. Hope you get him. He goes, let's go to be a nice walk. That's it. And then I said, yo, dude, we're talking. Then the thing from today. Yeah, a little aggressive on my part. And then also, I sent him a screenshot of his own
Yeah,
scoreboard,
that's weird, man.
which I meant to send to Eddie.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it wasn't like 100th or something like that, and you sent that. You know,
Yes.
it's top 10.
Rubbing it in?
Yeah, like, hey, check this guy out.
Oof.
Or yeah, you texting
Now I'm
Eddie,
nervous.
he
He
collapsed
doesn't want
out
to be a
of the
friend
top
anymore.
10.
Yeah.
We
We're
lost
singing.
money
Nah,
on this
you're
guy.
All
good.
right, I'm moving on.
You're good. He's just busy, man.
Send him another screenshot though.
Okay. So, and Eddie and I did not win money.
We did
lost
not.
money on betting on that. I'm going to be filling in for Rich Eisen on Thursday and Friday of this week.
Let's
on
go.
The Rich Eisen show, which I'm very excited about. Rich Eisen called me, and I called him back, and I was all nervous. And I was like telling, okay, don't put this up as a video. It can stay on the podcast. Don't put it up as a video. I knew he was going to call me at like 3 p.m. Central. And his flight got delayed or something because he was like, hey, sorry, I'm just getting off a flight and I could hear things around. And it was like 3:12 or something. And I answer. But I thought he was going to forget me altogether. I also didn't know why I was calling. That's freaking Rich Eisen. He's calling me. That's cool. And so I answered and I put him on speaker. But after about 10 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and play my Madden game against my buddy Steve. And so I put him on. And the PS5, you talk through the controller. You don't need a headset. Sounds just fine talking to the controller and speakers through the controller. So I let Steve hear me talk to Rich Eisen on speakerphone. And he was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. I was like, I know, man. That's super cool.
Heck yeah.
But Rich was just like, hey, man, when you come on, it's your show. He said, it's called the Rich Eisen Show, but don't feel like you have to go by anything that we do. He's like, all my guys will be there, but you do whatever you want to do. Don't have to, book anybody you don't want to book. But we'll try to get who. Just was super cool. He was like, I just want to tell you that with my own mouth. This is yours. You're here for 2 days. Do whatever you want. Like, obviously, he's at the combine, and I'll talk to him once, I think, each day. But otherwise, he's like, do what you want to do. And so they were like, hey, who do you want to book? And I don't know. Who do we book? And so Mike and I were talking, and then we just decided to get selfish and just book people we wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, that was the only goal. It was like, let's just ask for people we want to meet. And if they're also on the show, okay, cool. But we don't know who we're getting, but I selfishly, so I went on Craig Kilborn's podcast like 6 months ago. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, you want to come be my guest in person on Eisen? He goes, yeah, I'll be there. So he's coming in Thursday.
That's awesome.
Like Craig Kilborn. So I was like, this is super cool.
Awesome.
And like, I felt like he was going to say, yeah, if he could. But right, Mike, he was just on. He was just in, right?
Easy, yeah.
And he lives out there. So it's just a few minute drive. And so Mike, I said, Mike, whoever you want, just request him. And now these were long shots, but Mike requested Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
Hey, he has a
there you
movie
go.
coming out on
Okay.
Friday.
Right.
Mike.
And if he's around, right? She may
That'd
not be
be
around.
awesome.
I requested Pedro Pascal, whatever the guy from The Last of Us, the main guy.
Mandalorian.
Oh, he's in
Oh.
The Mandalorian? I never watched that show.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
the Mandalorian.
That guy's cool. I like
my
that
wife
dude.
says he's so funny on social media.
Yeah, he's great.
So I requested him. We've requested some other, but we just got a bit selfish with our ads.
So you're just like, we're in Hollywood. Let's just go for everyone.
Yeah, then I was like, Baker Mayfield. I said Baker because I don't know if
Yeah,
he's in
why
LA
not?
still with the Rams working out. I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
Yeah.
So have we heard back about any of them yet?
They reached out about Baker Mayfield.
Okay, let's go. Thursday and Friday. I'm
That's
gonna be
awesome,
in there.
dude.
They said Michael B. Jordan is a long shot, and Pedro.
Yeah, great.
I didn't hear no.
My whole career's been a long shot, you know?
Yeah.
Saying
No one
there's
ever
a
thought.
chance.
That's right. So I'll be on Thursday and Friday, and I'm super pumped about that. The end on that little situation. Let's go to the Chesson hotline. Still no. No text. Okay. Matt Ryan, where should he go? Because we talk about
the
Aaron
couch?
Rodgers. Yeah. Well, he's going somewhere. We talk about Aaron Rodgers. We talk about the domino that if he ends up going to the Jets, where does that put Carr? What does Lamar do? We can go down all that everybody's talking about, the quarterbacks in the draft also. But if you were Matt Ryan, where would you go? Right? That doesn't mean you can go, you know what, I demand to start for the Chiefs. You can't. You're Matt Ryan. You have to talk realistically. If you're Matt Ryan, where do you go? Take 15 seconds, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Coleman, if you're Matt Ryan, where do you go play quarterback?
Ideal world, the Jets. But because I believe in their young talent, they killed the draft this last year. So in an ideal world, if I'm Matt Ryan, I'd like to go to the Jets, be in New York. But can he pick where he gets to go?
Well-
Has he done well enough lately to do that?
If I'm Matt Ryan, I'm going to Kansas City as the backup.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
They love Chad Henne over there, though.
He
He
retired.
retired.
Oh, he's
he was
done?
he was on the airplane with the trophy going like, that's it, I'm out.
Oh,
Went out
wow.
on top.
Good for him, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that's not bad then.
I think I probably go and ring chase a little bit with Kansas City and be a. Now I don't know if he still feels like he can start, and if so, does he wait around, wait for somebody to get hurt? Go.
That's so interesting to go to Kansas City just to be a backup and get that ring.
Mhm.
And
Well,
then go. It's so interesting.
if Mahomes ever goes down, to have all those weapons, have
That's
Andy
true.
Reid, you can prove yourself, and then maybe you get a better contract as a starter the next year.
I don't know. He's 107 though. Like
That's
how many? Kevin?
How about this? The Niners
Yeah,
with Shanahan.
that would be my second pick.
Go back to Shanahan. They always get hurt. All their quarterbacks.
true.
Well-
He'll play at some point.
The quarterback that hurt his arm.
Purdy?
Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy. Brock Purdy. It's so swollen he couldn't even have surgery.
Yeah.
So it's even more delayed than the already delay of having that surgery late going into next season. So you're talking about his inflammation is not down. I can remember a full medical prognosis, but I can't remember the word Purdy. Okay, so you're following along here.
Purdy.
It's been a long. Trey Lance, who knows what's going on? So excellent place for him to go
Yeah.
because he will probably get to play some sort. And if they need somebody to kind of be a stopgap for one of those two guys, I don't know what they're going to do with that quarterback situation, though. Let's just take everybody being hurt out of it. Purdy, who's probably not going to be 100% when the season starts, which sucks for him. But Purdy and Trey Lance, let's say they're both completely healthy. What would you do?
You got to go with Lance.
I think so, too.
You invested
The
You
so
invested
much.
so
in him.
much
Yeah.
in him.
Yeah.
What do you go, 3, 5?
3, I believe. They moved up.
I feel
to
like 3 too, but I wouldn't bet my house on it. But yeah, I think you have to go with Lance, even though Purdy played so well for so long. And Purdy will be an extremely attractive trade bait.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of teams that probably trade for him. Where'd he go?
It was third.
It's
Yeah.
3?
Yeah. But they
Eddie,
had to
where-
move up.
Where would you go? You've heard us give our answers now.
Tampa Bay.
To
To take-
start? You think you're starting?
To start for Tampa Bay. Yes. Fill in for Tom's shoes. You got a lot of weapons over there.
You think they're gonna? You think they would start?
I mean, I don't know. You're asking me to pick. I'd go Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but you also are picking based on reality.
They need someone over there. Matt Ryan's the dude. Let's give it a shot.
You think they would have him come in as the starting quarterback?
Yeah, well, I mean, who else are they gonna get?
Free agent market, draft quarterback,
Yeah,
trade up. Bears are going to trade their number 1 pick. I don't see how and why they wouldn't.
obviously they like old dudes that were really good back in the day.
The
so.
quarterback 2 in Tampa now is the Florida backup. Or he
Trask.
played at Florida. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Trask. And so I was listening to them talk about him. And they're like, yeah, Trask our guys. We're ready for. I think they're just saying that
Mm-hmm.
until they can get one. I mean, where's Garoppolo going to go? People forget about Garoppolo. I mean, he got hurt, but he's fine. He'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, 49ers quarterbacks are all just like something's wrong with. If
Yeah.
you played quarterback, if you're still on the team, if you were on the team, everybody got hurt last year.
Yeah.
But I thought the Matt Ryan question was interesting because what would you do? Go to a bad team and be a starter, or go to a really good team and have a chance to extend your career, be an awesome backup, and win a championship?
Yeah, you got to get that ring.
Is that what they want? They just want that ring at that age?
I guess he was so close to that ring
Mm-hmm.
when Brady comes back and beats him. I mean, that's the worst. Is it the worst Super Bowl comeback?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the biggest
that,
deficit
that
ever?
was pretty
Yeah.
bad, man.
I think it was the best, but yeah.
No, the worst.
Hey,
It's the
and they
worst.
kept showing the owner. He'd go down to the field like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
What?
Did you guys see any baseball pitch clock stuff?
I did see it, but I've seen that in the minors here,
Uh-huh.
like, and I loved it. As far as just being a spectator on it, I love the 15-second clock.
So
Let's
Kevin,
go.
Speed it up.
explain, because I saw a game ended because of a pitch clock, and I watched a few. And like, listen, I'm not going to get into a bunch of freaking spring training.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, I mean even just me personally. I had too much. I had college basketball going on. I was trying to make out my wife. It's a whole thing.
Good,
you know?
good, good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of effort right there.
Kevin, explain the new rule.
So between batters, they have 30 seconds from when the pitcher gets the ball. Batter needs to come in to get the pitch off. And then between pitches, if the bases are empty, you have 20 seconds. If there's a runner on, you have 15 seconds with bases empty, 20 with the runner on base. And the pitcher must start his motion before the clock stops. The batter must get in before the 8-second mark. If he's not in ready to go at the 8-second mark, then he gets a strike. The pitcher will get a ball called on them, and we saw it happen in the Red Sox-Braves game the other day.
Old people hate this because it's so not what baseball is about. But if baseball is going to survive, we got to kill all the old people.
Wow.
Really. Baseball is my favorite sport. It's the best at it. Played the most of it. Watched. I mean, if the Cubs played 162 games, I probably watched 150 of them. It's almost unwatchable, a whole game. It's almost like something that's just on that you check back in on, unless it's the playoffs or the World Series. And they got to do stuff like this. And yes, it doesn't look like baseball when there's a big shot clock, but think about every other major sport. Football, play clock. Basketball, shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
Why does baseball have the liberty to frickin' just hold on to the ball and make us sit there 3.5 hours watching a game? So yes, it doesn't feel like what is traditionally that baseball feeling, like we're here day at the park. But you can't do that anymore. Attention spans are much shorter.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a big advocate of it. And I think if the clock runs out, you should just hit the batter.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I saw a video on Twitter today, actually. They put up a video of Jose Altuve hitting the inside the park home run and a pitcher in the 2016 NLDS. Between pitches, Jose ran 7 inside the park home runs before the next pitch, if that makes sense.
Wow, yeah.
7.
They showed how long it would have been before the next pitch,
Yeah.
and they used his inside the park home runs as the metric.
That's
Yes.
cool.
It took 7 of them.
7.
It's baseball just gotten too boring because it's like, all right, here we go, pitch. Well, nothing happened. Because most pitches, nothing happens.
Mhm.
And it takes a long time in between nothing happening. So when there's a long time in between nothing happening, people are going to get bored. It's very rare you hear a 15 or 16-year-old go like, I love baseball. Oh, I want to play baseball. Baseball is the coolest thing. That doesn't happen anymore. Because it's not. Because the traditionalists have made the game so freaking boring. Like, I wouldn't say made it. They've held it so boring. Look at basketball. They've shortened the shot clock. They put up a three-point line. I mean, you can go through all the different generations and iterations, and they've made mistakes at times. They've made it better other, but they're constantly trying to evolve and making the game more fun to watch for the consumer. Baseball didn't do that. They're not doing that because you have traditionalists going, this is not how baseball should have been. Can you imagine we're still playing in freaking leather helmets with no face mask going,
my God.
no, this ain't football. I guess you're just a puss. No.
The field goal right in the middle of the end zone.
Yeah, people dying, running a slant. Yes. So I know a lot of people were upset. I was reading it online. A lot of people were upset about the clock.
What about pitchers? What do they think about it? Because
It's just new for everybody, so everybody kind of hates it.
yeah. Because I mean, with pitchers, it's so much tempo. You know, like I slow down, take that breath. imagine me at Disney World, then pitch.
You know, we talked about culture and how you don't have it on your basketball team. That's why you lost. I mean, it's a baseball, and their day-to-day is a culture. They go on their own schedule. They go as slow or as fast as they want. This pitch, they can't do that anymore. It's going to almost now be a forced new culture that people have to adapt to, which is great. There's about 4 things I would do with baseball.
I agree with you.
I would do football and baseball, and there would be computerized ump assistants with lasers.
Yeah. Why
Like,
are we
that's-
not
we do that
there?
already.
Right.
Why are we not there?
And why do
23rd.
we pick and choose what technology we use and don't? Oh, we can have instant replay with all the cameras, but I don't want a laser going across to tell us if they really scored. That's a little
Come
too
on.
much. No, we're already using technology to better. What's the difference?
And whatever they do in tennis to make that little
Yes.
thing
Yes.
reenact what happened with that ball is amazing. That's what they need to do across the board.
Same thing with a strike zone. Let's put a freaking digital strike zone up there. The batter can't see it, but it's there. And the ump's just there to, I don't know, look good with that big chest plate on.
Yeah.
Call plays at the plate. We don't need to have a balls and strikes human because humans err. And we have the ability for there to be no error. But traditionalists, it's not how it used to be.
That's what I was trying to tell my ref.
Amen,
man.
buddy. You know what? I'm on your
That's
side.
exactly it.
All right, back to the Chesson Hotline. Nothing.
Oh.
Looks like we're out. Okay. We're going to go and hear Coleman talk to Coach Casey Alexander of Belmont. What was this about, Coleman?
Yeah, just kind of the same interview that I've done with every coach. I just run through their career, take me through the beginning, your journey, where all you've been, and then ask them questions about the current team as they approach March Madness. Every single coach I've interviewed has been incredible. It's been an amazing experience, a dream for me, honestly. But Coach Alexander specifically, he was awesome.
There's no need to edit this part, but we're going to work with Coleman a little bit here too. So no, don't set it up like, all of them been the same. You'd be like,
Same old interview.
You're like, this is what I do. You're saying the same thing. You'd be like, this is what I do. I go in, we talk about. Coleman's like, yeah, it's the same freaking crap.
There's nothing new, really.
It's just,
video,
you heard
like-
the last one. I mean, it's just me doing the same generic formula. No, man.
I wouldn't listen to it.
Yeah, he's like,
Sorry,
you know what I do. So
I set that up horribly.
yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. But we're learning, right?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So Coleman, what'd you do with Coach Casey Alexander of Belmont?
So with Coach Alexander, talk with him about his team season. They're really clicking at the right time. They just transitioned into the Missouri Valley from the Ohio Valley Conference. So
Is there a
the-
difference? I mean,
Yeah,
in
big difference.
competitive play.
Absolutely. So the Ohio Valley Conference, it was pretty much just them and Murray State that ran it year after year. Now the Missouri Valley gives them a better chance to get in that large bid. So if they don't win the conference tournament, that's not the case this year. But in the future, that's the goal. And Belmont was expected to not do great in that transition, given a tougher level of competition. And they've done exceptionally well, have a chance to win the championship this weekend in St. Louis.
Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, they're local too.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Coleman's here. Here is Coach Casey Alexander of Belmont with Coleman.
Here with Coach Casey Alexander of Belmont. Coach, I wanted to ask you, you played here, great player here when Belmont was back in the NAIA. What's it like to be coaching your former alma mater?
Yeah, well, first of all, a great player is quite a stretch. I was not a great player. I was a good player on some great teams, but it is kind of, it's pretty amazing how God works, in my opinion. Here I am almost 30 years later, or I guess 30 years later, as the head coach. I was an assistant coach for 16 years after I played, and then I left for 8 years. So to be back now as the head coach, this in our 4th season, it's been awesome.
To take it even further back, you get your first head coaching job at Stetson. What was that like? 16 years as an assistant, if I've got that right. What was that like, getting your first head coaching job at Division I ranks?
Well, it was exciting, but it was also a challenge. Belmont is all that I knew. I mean, I had played for Coach Bird, and that's the only person I'd ever worked for. So I had very little experience outside of my Belmont experience, which thankfully was good, and our teams were good. So at least I had that in my back pocket. But, you go to a new state, you move your family, and you take on a new challenge. And, largely I assumed it would be the same, just different, but it was really just different. There were a lot of challenges that we encountered those first couple of years. I grew up a lot as a coach, as a person, as a man, and so Even though it had some challenges, I mean, it was probably the most influential 2 years of my life that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Mm-hmm. What was it like, that transition? You stay in the same conference, but then come back to your original college city, being the head coach at Lipscomb.
Yeah, well, and Belmont was in the same league when I went to Stetson. So I was Belmont, then Stetson, then Lipscomb, all three of those teams in the A-Sun, which is pretty unusual. And when I left Belmont, I never thought that I would be returning to Nashville to coach. I mean, it just doesn't work that way very often. So I was very fortunate to be at a place in Lipscomb that I knew very well. I knew a lot of people there. I grew up with a lot of people that were at Lipscomb, very familiar for the obvious reasons. And so that part was really seamless. I mean, the job was still the job, and I had a new team with new players and a lot to cover. But it was really a great time for me, an exciting time, and a great 6 years. I loved my time at Lipscomb.
Take me through the emotions of winning a conference tournament championship. You punch your first ever bid to the NCAA tournament in 2018. What was that like?
Yeah, well, it was a first for Lipscomb at the time, and it was done in an impressive fashion. We go to Florida Gulf Coast, who was phenomenal that year, and we were almost 30 points at halftime. So we surprised a lot of people. We had to hang on by the skin of our teeth to survive the game, but it was awesome to see those kids get that experience. I mean, that's ultimately in college basketball. That is the pinnacle, and what everybody wants to do is play in the NCAA tournament. And so it was a really rewarding experience for those guys, a great opportunity for Lipscomb, and kind of a memory you'll certainly never forget.
Conversely, take me through the lows of losing in that conference tournament final to Liberty in 2019, but then somehow getting your guys to rally, win 4 straight, and get to the finals for a chance to play to win an NIT championship in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, really the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. I mean, we that 2019 team was better than the 2018 that went to that went to the NCAA tournament. So to lose in that championship game, I don't know if it was overtime or not, but I know it was down to the wire, and to a really good Liberty team. We were all pretty devastated, that we didn't get over the hump and go back to back. And so, the next best option was the NIT, and truthfully, nobody's ever excited about playing in the NIT because it means you're not in the NCAA tournament. But we win our first game at Davidson, who's a proud program, and then we kind of go on from there. Beat NC State at NC State for the chance to go to New York City, and then we win our first game in New York City against Wichita State and lose to Texas in the finals. And so to think about thousands upon thousands of Lipscomb people at the time in New York City celebrating their team, on national TV, which at that time, you had the final 4 teams that were left and those final 2 in the NIT. So we were playing pretty late into the season, which was awesome. Yeah.
That's neat. What about in 2020, your first year coaching at Belmont, again, your alma mater, you win the conference tournament by 1 point, and then a week later have your season canceled due to COVID. Take me through those emotions.
Yeah, another crazy year, and we didn't get off to the start that season that we wanted to. I think at one point maybe we were 6-4 in the conference, and then we won our next 10 to win the regular season outright, and then we have the virtual buzzer beater game in the championship against our rival Murray State to go to the NCAA tournament. And so a real storybook ending right there. And we can remember being at that tournament talking about COVID, not knowing what COVID was, and and really downplaying it like, that's kind of crazy, but you never know what's going to happen. And then that was a Saturday. We took Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off, came back on Wednesday, and that's the day the NBA shut down, and the next day was the day the NCAA tournament was canceled. And so it was devastating for our players, but we're really grateful that we had the experience of our conference tournament, the championship game that we won, and we knew we had earned our way into the NCAA tournament. A lot of leagues and conferences out there didn't get that opportunity, so we're glad that we did.
Absolutely. Great way to look at it. Transitioning into the present year, what was it like, going from Ohio Valley Conference, which was pretty much a 2-horse race, you'd have the occasional third team of Moorhead and Austin Peay, to then transitioning to a big-time step-up, a big-time mid-major in the Missouri Valley. What were your expectations in that transition?
Well, there were a lot of unknowns. We lose 5 fifth-year seniors and, some all-conference guys and, all-time record holders. So the timing was bad. And then we lose 2 out of our 3 returning players to transfer, which was a very unusual scenario for us. So 7 out of our top 8 from last year are gone. And the decision to move to the Missouri Valley, although we talked about it and I knew that it was possible, it was really a situation where it's like, hey, bang, you're in the Missouri Valley. There's no preparation for it.
Yeah.
And so we took what we had and where we were, and and all of a sudden we're in the Missouri Valley, which is a much deeper conference, a much more competitive conference from top to bottom, and so there was a lot of questions, but here we are, several months later, and on one hand, we've at least survived it.
Absolutely,
we've thrived at times. We were in or tied for first place for the better part of the conference season. We haven't finished like we wanted to, but it's been an awesome experience. We've got a long way to go. We've got to continue to get better to be as successful in the Missouri Valley as we were in the OVC or in the ASUN, but Belmont gives us a great opportunity to do that. We've got everything we need here to win games and to win the right way.
How critical a role has Ben Shepherd played, being the only guy returning the average more than 3 points a game last year, in helping develop the newcomers and establish what we do here at Belmont, your culture, your identity?
Yeah, we have to give Ben a lot of credit for any success that this team has had. He had plenty of opportunities to go elsewhere. There were a lot of people calling, unfortunately, illegally, but he chose to stay because Belmont had given him a great experience, and he knew that this was a great place for him to finish out his career. So in hindsight, it's really awesome to see him kind of reap the benefits that he wanted. He wanted to be an all-conference player. He wanted to be talked about as a conference player of the year candidate, and he certainly accomplished those things. And we've got some team goals still out there for us. But Ben's been awesome from beginning to end. I mean, he has been very consistent, the model of consistency, efficient, a leader, and really has just performed at a high level. He continues to get better. That's the best part about Ben is from day one on campus till tonight, senior night, he continues to get better, and the best is yet to come.
Despite all that you lost from transitioning from last season into this year, you guys still just 2 games back of first place through 18 games in the Missouri Valley. What type of confidence does having swept a team like a Bradley, who's tied first in the standings, give your team going into Arch Madness next week?
Yeah, I think that's – I told you we had a lot of questions, unanswered questions, but a lot of those have now been answered. We would much prefer to be regular season champions and going in as the number 1 seed, but I do think that our team knows it can beat anybody in the tournament, and we'll have to play well. It's an unbelievable 3 or 4 days, and you can't go in there and just win by accident, but at least we know we can play with the best teams in this league, and that gives yourself a chance, which is really all you need. When
you're doing X well, you've got a chance to punch your bid to go to the NCAA tournament. What is X?
Yeah, scoring the ball, and usually from the 3-point line. I mean, that's kind of who we've always been, and I hate to minimize how important I think the rest of the game is, or how effective I think we are at the rest of the game. I think we're good enough defensively. I think we've got the right mentality for all things, but we are always at our best when we are playing really well offensively. It's fun to watch, it's fun to play, and shots are typically going in.
I've got 2 more questions for you, Coach. 2 of your 4 leading scorers being freshmen. How impressed have you been, I guess, by their maturity level, and then how much does that excite you for your program building going forward in the future years?
Yeah, Jacoby Gillespie and Cade Tyson since day one. You always have high expectations for your freshmen when they come in. You don't sign them unless you think they're going to be really good, but it doesn't work out that way for everybody, and certainly not at an immediate level. But both of those guys, Jacoby kind of had some things thrust upon him because our starting point guard, Keyshawn Davidson, was out the first 6 games, so he was accelerated into the mix probably more than he would have been. But he took the bull by the horns, and he's been great, from start to finish, and has never really looked like a freshman out there. And then Cade Tyson, who is the guy came in the first week in the summer as a true freshman, and you could tell how serious he was about the game. How important it is, how competitive he is, just how much it matters, and I've said several times he has earned his success, and that's something to be said for anybody.
That's awesome. Last question, Coach. As someone that's been a head coach in 3 different leagues, how do you like the conference tournament setup? The ASUN does the home court advantage for the higher seeds. OVC, you've got a double bye situation. Missouri Valley, pretty much standard how the standings are.
Yeah, it's I think it's all relevant to where you are. I think everybody would prefer a neutral site tournament with a lot of fanfare and excitement. It's the truest way probably to make it fair if that's what you're looking for. But all conferences can't really pull that off. The ASUN is so widespread. a neutral site tournament in that league makes it really tough to have the environment that the kids deserve, especially in a championship level game. And so I think the way that they do it is very appropriate. I think the Missouri Valley, I mean, its tournament's been 30-something years running in St. Louis and gets great fan participation, and schools across this league or pour into St. Louis for that tournament. So it'll be the experience that our guys need. Ultimately, you want the players to have a great experience, and so whatever gives them the best chance is the way you go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach Alexander, for your time. Wishing you and the Bruins best of luck the rest of the way.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, thanks to Coach. Belmont Bears.
Bruins. Close
so
enough.
close.
Close enough.
They are
That's
bear.
a bear.
They are
That's a bear.
bears.
Yeah.
They're just Bruin Bears.
Like
Yeah.
UCLA.
You got
I guess
it.
I've just seen a bear on those billboards.
Yeah.
They have a chance?
Yeah, they do. The top 6 teams could all win in the Missouri Valley.
Okay, let's say if they win the Missouri Valley, what would they go in as? A 12?
Probably 13, 14.
And
range. 13 probably.
who's one of these teams you've seen that will go in as a 12, 13? But if they win their tournament and they get in, they're going to be undervalued, but they have size, athleticism. Like, who is that team that we're passing over right now because of their name?
There's several for me, but the team that I've seen that I'd pick that description the most is Marshall. Marshall has NBA talent on the court, and Tavion Kinsey, Andy Taylor is another. They have 2 guards that average over 20 points a game. It's a terrific duo. And offensively, they can absolutely click and just outscore even a Power 6 team.
And no chance they get in if they don't win their tournament, right?
Correct.
Any of these
Gotta win.
Any of these schools from these mid-majors, can any of them get in if they don't win their tournament?
The only one that I've seen that has a chance, and it's an outside shot, is Charleston out of the Colonial Conference. They had a great non-conference year. I think only 3 losses on the season. But
Yeah,
even
screw
them,
Memphis.
It
No, has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to yell screw Memphis.
Memphis will
Yeah.
be able to get in if they lose, and then Houston as well. I've
Screw
seen
Memphis.
Houston.
Yeah,
make it
Houston, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, nice job there. There's Coleman. You can follow Coleman. Give out your name.
Sharp Shot Select on TikTok and Twitter. That's where you can follow me, and I post all my content of these games. I mean, for the next 2 weeks.
Sharp Shot Select.
Yes.
Why is that your name?
Originally, it was a bracketology and gambling picks Twitter, and I like alliteration. I thought it sounded good when I was a junior in college.
You can change
Love
it.
that.
Yeah, I guess I can now.
I mean, now will be the time to. You don't have to, but it's like I'm always looking. I'm like at COLEM. Oh man, there's nobody there. I think it's like Shooter Boy.
Shooter boy.
It's just. I don't know, man. It's like you need all 3 to match.
Right.
Too. Like
Right.
Coleman's sack.
I don't know if it's
Coleman
that,
Cul-de-sac.
but I can think
Oh
of
Coleman-
man, I was
Cul-de-sac.
thinking something completely different.
No,
I was too.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but it's like sharp. I don't know. We need like a makeover with Coleman.
Yeah.
Make over the
Like-
branding.
Okay, so a couple things. Dame went off for 71. They were dumping stuff on him after the game last night. It's pretty cool. 71 points. I mean, that's
ridiculous.
that's a ball hog. But that's also
Pass the ball.
that's also someone who's then the team starts to work together to make sure he can break 70. Like there was a point in the game where it was, all right, we're about to get him. First of all, it was going to be 60. And then like, let's get him 70. So number 8 all time ties Donovan Mitchell for the most points in a game this season when Donovan Mitchell and Cleveland went for, I mean, the fact that they're going for 71 points. Imagine if they took the shot clock to like 15, the amount of points we'd see in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
Hey, baseball's doing it. Why can't they follow along?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's speed it up a little bit. Lillard went 13 for 22 from 3. Think about that. 13 for 26 would be 50%. He went 13 for 22. So that's pretty awesome. The Blazers are still 11th in the West, so you got to be 10th to get one of the play-in spots. So, but I was looking at the West, like the Lakers, by the way, there's like 3 or 4 teams. I think the Lakers are like 13 and a half out overall right now. But maybe like 11 and a half. They're close. There's like 4 or 5 teams. The Lakers are like 3 games out of like the 6th spot, which is crazy. And LeBron's like, I'm going to play these next set of games that are most important in my career. And they end up coming back and winning that game. But he was
How
like,
did they do that?
But he was like, well, I saw AD hit it. I didn't watch the game because it was late. I saw AD hit that clutch shot at the end to win the game.
Wow.
Because they showed on SportsCenter. I don't stay up late for that crap. That's a regular season game. But LeBron was limping out of after the game, hurt. So I don't know what that means as of right now.
Said he heard a pop, is what he
Oh.
was saying when he went down.
That's not good.
Right. And he's also him and Matt Ryan. You know, they
Yeah. Well, I watched like the first, quarter of the game, and I thought like, hey, like Kyrie and Luka are playing pretty well together. Like there wasn't a lot of ball hogging.
blew it.
And then I just could go back and check the score. I'm like, wow,
yeah, they blew
that's
it.
crazy.
In basketball over the weekend, Houston won. Alabama beat Arkansas by 3, but it's tough. We're starting to click and be pretty good.
Yeah, man.
We got Nick Smith back. We're gonna go into the tournament hopefully as like a 7, 8, 9, 10, and it isn't gonna be fun for whomever gets. Even if we lose, you want that team to be bad, and we're not gonna be that bad. So it was good. We're gonna play Tennessee on Tuesday, Arkansas, and then I'm gonna try to go to the Kentucky game Saturday.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna try if you want to go.
Saturday?
I think so.
Let me make the call.
Yeah.
But you know how it works. I got to wait for the right time.
I know, but I'm not even officially. Maybe you can go ahead and see.
Okay.
And then if we go, you're already set in place.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Okay. Kansas beats West Virginia, but West Virginia played pretty well. They went back and forth the whole game. Kansas only won by 2. UCLA beat Colorado.
Finally saw my first UCLA game.
You did?
Yeah.
They only
and
scored 60 points.
They really didn't play that well.
No, they
honestly.
Yeah. Again, I didn't watch. I was flipping, and I watched like 3 minutes of that game straight. And I don't think it was like baseball, watching baseball.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing happening. Let's see. Indiana beat Purdue. A good win for Indiana.
Huge.
There was the North Carolina win. Who was shocked by that?
They needed it.
They had,
way.
yeah, they beat Virginia 71-63. I couldn't believe they won, period. But North Carolina led early, and then just pretty much won. It was like what they call a horse winning. They what do they say? They won it going away. They won the race going away.
Yeah, that's a
They
thing,
start
yeah.
in the lead, and they just go, and they just kind of have it the whole time. And for a North Carolina team that's been terrible
Oh, yeah.
to beat Virginia.
Well, and Virginia was coming off a bad loss, too, like against Boston College, I think.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
they're falling apart.
There are some 8 to 11 seeds that are going to be very dangerous just because of their talent. They've been so inconsistent, but they have the talent to make a deep run. We watched North Carolina do it last year. They could do it again. Arkansas, Kentucky. And this is
Kentucky's
a year,
starting to play really well, too, now, and I hate it.
They are.
I know.
This is a year with no dominant team. I could see it being like 2014. That was the year Kentucky made it to the national title game, I want to say, as an 8 seed. I mean, something like that could happen with an Arkansas, Kentucky.
Please keep
Carolina.
saying that, because I'm so
That's great.
homer and biased. But, yeah, Kentucky's starting to play really good, and I hate that because they are so long. They're so athletic. They can shoot the ball.
Oscar,
It's
dude.
dangerous. Well, Oscar hasn't played that well this year.
No, he hasn't, but he's still
But yeah,
dominating.
There are certain games where he puts up like 20 and 20,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh crap. But then there are games where after the game, Cal's like, yeah, we should have played Oscar a little less. And I'm like, you just said that. So yeah, I hate the Kentucky's getting good. We beat them bad in their home, and that's next Saturday. It's who we're playing in Arkansas. I wish they sucked a little more right now. If I'm being honest.
You're getting Tennessee at the right time, though.
There's no such right. Listen, I went to Knoxville last year to watch us play them in Knoxville, which is what we're doing again. That's a tough place to play. Never been to a basketball game there when they were good.
Yeah.
It was a tough place.
What a brutal close to you all season. Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but let's go. We're ready. We're SC tournament next week. I got 2 tickets to every SC tournament game. I gave them away except for the Arkansas ones. So hopefully we don't have to play on Thursday. We play Friday, Saturday, hopefully Sunday. Because
You gave the other games away? Like same
no,
seats?
I just didn't want them.
Oh.
I had tickets in a box.
Got it.
And then I was like, but I think I'm going to go sit with the team. And it's not, when you sit behind with the coaches and the families, you don't have tickets for the whole day, like some of those tickets are.
Yeah, we didn't know
Or
that.
sessions.
We didn't know that.
So I'll sit there, but those are only for one game because I got to get the other coach's family and the close people in.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When we went last year, we went the game before and we were sitting down like, you guys are in our seats. Like you got.
We're like, no, we're here.
you gotta get out.
Third row.
and they're like,
no,
that's
no.
not how it works.
They're like, no, oh yeah. They're like, oh, you must be like part of the team. Not how it works. This is the only section that turn over every game because we have to bring in the family and stuff.
Yeah.
We were like, oh.
That makes sense.
And the guy
That's
who
what I
kicked us
said.
out was that ref who refed Eddie.
Same dude.
And so
Still pissed about that.
a couple final things. The Bears have been approached by a bunch of teams. This morning, it was tweeted, and Schefter's want to put it out. I'll read it to you. The Bears have been approached by multiple teams about trading the draft's #1 overall pick. Chicago is also said to be leaning toward moving the pick, so the number 1 pick is for sale. Yeah, duh. If I'm the Bears, I don't trade Fields. I don't trade for what? What are you gonna do for a pick? For what other quarterback are you gonna trade? They're gonna franchise tag Lamar. If he doesn't want to sign, they're gonna tag him. There's nothing to trade him for. What would they trade him for? A pick? Bryce? CJ Stroud?
It's crazy how good he
Will
looked
Levis-
this year and how bad they were.
I mean, but who do you trade him for? You have 3.
No, I'm saying he's not the issue.
Oh no, yeah, I know, but even the fact that people are talking about it, all these quarterbacks are so unpredictable in what they're going to do next level. I mean, even look at Trevor Lawrence. He went to a bad situation in Jacksonville and looked terrible. People are like, well, Trevor Lawrence, bust. How many of these awesome quarterbacks go to bad programs and it's just like, well, they never worked out.
Yep.
But it was only because, well, Tim Couch had the worst Browns organization in the NFL. I mean, it's all based on where you are as well. So they're not going to, I just don't see him trading Justin Fields. And I would trade down too.
Yeah, trade the 1, get a bulk of picks, depth of talent.
Yeah.
And then you can even use that next year if you don't feel good about Justin Steele to move up for Caleb Williams or Drake May or something like that.
Now, Caleb Williams, I'd be in on.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, I would be in on. He's legit. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Same.
I just didn't like him.
What don't you guys like?
Oklahoma.
about him?
I don't like
OU.
Oklahoma.
The OU stuff.
That's it.
Going with Lincoln to USC. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you know, if Bobby left, I'd go with him, guys. Right? You know that.
I get it. I get
And
him leaving, but I'm going to be upset
Same.
at the both of them.
absolutely. And I'm now a cousin fan. I mean, I'm not an OU fan, but I'm like somebody's cousin, where I'm like, well, that's my cousin. You know, they're doing pretty good or they're doing bad. I gotta roll with them a little bit. And so in OU, all the fans hate Lincoln Riley and hate Caleb Williams, and those fans happen to be my wife and her parents.
Your family.
I'm like an Oklahoma cousin fan.
Yeah.
I did post a video, and I'll end on this. We'll do the final thought. I did post a video on my Twitter where I was wishing our head softball coach, Courtney Deifel, like a congratulations, because she's now the winningest softball coach in Arkansas history. She turned that program from being a really bad softball program to a really good softball program. And I post a video, and I'm like, Coach Deifel, congratulations. Coach Deifel's always been super cool. And I got a text from, I guess, family. Oh, here, Chesson just messaged me.
Oh, let's go.
Hold on. And it's the head softball coach at Oklahoma, who I think she has won. Coach Gass has won like 6 national championships. And all she did was send me a hog and a broken heart. And I was like, you know my loyalty. I'll be there for you, but I'm always a hog first. I'm always a hog
Fighting with
first.
family already, dude.
I know.
Let's call Chesson and see what's up.
Oh, we're calling him.
Talk to me.
There he is, everybody.
Yeah, Chesson.
How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good. We were talking about you and how we watched the tournament this weekend, and we don't really know a lot about hitting good golf shots, but we saw some out there, and I was like, let me see if I could get our guy Chesson on the phone. How'd you feel this weekend?
Good. I just there was a little bit of poopy diaper yesterday with some, but like overall, I played great. I finished 29th, which, it's hard. Sometimes you look at that and you're like, wow, that's good or not good. I know that doesn't sound great, but I feel like things are heading in a really positive direction.
When you're out, because sometimes when I play golf, and Chesson, you're talking to a 12 handicap. Sometimes I feel like my arms don't work. I don't know how to work my arms. Do you ever deal with that as a pro?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yesterday on hole number 11, my arms didn't work. So I was hitting pitch and wedge, which is a club that that's what we hit that club really well 95% of the time. And my arms just didn't work. And I hit it in the water and I made double, and doubles aren't good.
Do you ever
Doubles
go
are
in the
bad.
sand and say to yourself, oh, this is not going to be good? Because I do that every time I go in the sand.
I like the sand.
Huh.
I like the sand. Sometimes I get up and I see my lie, and then I go, oh, this isn't going to be good. But most of the time I get in the sand, I'm like, okay, I love this.
I'm going to let Chesson go. We just want to get him on for the big show here
Yeah.
before we wrapped it up. But I asked Chesson, I said, what's the key? Give me a tip. And he goes, learn to putt better. And I was like, I
Yeah.
just paid you $1,000 for that tip.
Did you pay me $1,000?
No, I paid you nothing. No. Well, where do you go next, Chesson?
I'm heading home this week. I have an off week, and then the week after is the Players. That's a huge tournament on the PGA Tour, kind of considered the 5th major, but it typically has the best field in golf from top to bottom. So that's in a couple weeks in Jacksonville, Florida, Ponte Vedra Beach.
Who's the nicest guy that you've accidentally been, or just randomly you were partnered up with at a tournament, and you guys became friends after being partnered up because you're like, that dude's cool?
Well, yeah, like I ran into this guy named Bobby Bones this year at Pebble, and we just instantly became friends, and now I'm on his radio show and stuff, and so that's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
I would say Bobby Bones.
I'll accept that answer.
I even switched radio stations in Raleigh. I started listening to him full time.
Did you guys rehearse this?
Yeah, we worked this out last night. We've done this bit last night. All right, well, Chesson, we're rooting for you, buddy, and thanks for picking up, and we'll be watching you soon.
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for having me on.
There he is. All right, hey, we got a professional golfer on.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Legit. Okay, that's it. Final thought, Eddie?
Yeah, so we were talking about records earlier, and I wanted to shout out my 8-year-old. He broke his personal record. His record was 26 going into Saturday, and he scored 28 on Saturday. So shout out to him. He's pretty awesome.
He scored 28.
Oh, dude, he's a baller.
That's like Dame Lillard.
Awesome.
Like they dump.
Yeah.
Kind of a ball hog, but really, like
They dump like a fun dip on his head. It's different for kids.
Yeah.
Champagne.
That's pretty awesome.
Chesson just said, "Is it okay?" I said, "Poopy diaper." I'm like,
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, "Dang, Chris Rock, watch the language."
Poopy diaper.
On the dang Chris Rock one.
Funny.
I want to say, ha ha. Got it. Okay, Kevin.
You might call me an old guy for this, but I was watching the OKC and was it the Suns? I can't remember who they were playing on Friday, and their jerseys were teal. And I was just wondering, these NBA jerseys nowadays, they have so many, and I don't even know who's playing anymore. When I'm watching some of these games, I'm like, okay, this team is like maybe it was the Suns that were teal, and it was just like, wait, since when have the Suns been teal? And I know they're trying to sell jerseys, I get it. But if I don't know who I'm watching, then I just don't understand it.
What I have to do is look down at the bottom where the two teams are in the color, because they try to match the colors.
Yeah.
Like if it's like PHX and it's rainbow with OKC and it's white, I have to like match there. But colors, I'm not good at them anyway.
You're colorblind, so that's tough.
I'll be honest with you. Not good at them, but I understand that. They
But
gotta
that is
sell
kind of
those
old
jerseys.
of Kevin, though, a little bit, right?
Yeah,
he's like,
keep
them all the same color.
Coleman.
My final thought is a thank you to you all and your team for all the hookups that you all have given me. I've gotten 5 interviews with Division I coaches over the past about 10 days, and then this is now leading into everything I've been building towards. The conference tournament play over the next 2 weeks is everything I've been working towards and will be the teams punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And now, thanks to you all, I have access that I haven't gotten before. So thank you.
What do you do for conference tournaments?
So conference tournaments, I posted my schedule. I'm going to be going to 29 games in 14 days.
Do we find that at sharpieshop.com?
Yes, that's where you can find it.
Go ahead.
Might change it. We'll talk about branding afterwards. But yeah, there will be some days where I'm going to all 4 games of the quarterfinals for different conference tournaments. There will be others where the conference tournament, the best seeded team hosts. So I'll just go to one game that day, be at that team's home environment to go punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. So I'll be mixing it up, but looking forward to it.
What do you do once basketball season's over? Because you don't have a job.
Right. I'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
His answer's right.
I'm grinding to try to, I guess, grow my resume or my exposure to see if there will be anyone that would be interested in picking me up full time. But over that NCAA tournament, I'll still be putting out content and things like that. I'll probably be going to a couple of the regionals, everything probably before the Final Four, and try to create an opportunity from that. And then after that, be back to on Indeed, I guess, LinkedIn.
What's Indeed?
Is that like a job?
Job hunting.
Job, yeah.
Monster.com?
Yeah.
That kind of thing? Okay. I wanted to bring up the fact that, I don't know, I'm jealous. I'll say it. I don't admit jealousy often. Sometimes I use that as motivation. Instead of being jealous, I'm like, I'll be motivated. I'm jealous. Manny Machado, 11 years, $350 million.
I know.
He already had a big deal. In 2019, they signed him 10 years, $300 million, but he had a player option for this winter. And so he is signed through 2034. He'll be 41 years old.
Insane.
That's just so much money.
I mean, is he that worth it?
Yeah.
This is the same dude where like he wasn't diving for balls,
yes,
right? Like,
he's worth it in that the market is eventually going to catch it, and they're not going to have to pay him anymore.
Yeah.
So do I think he's worth right now?
Oh,
probably
man.
not. But over the investment, yeah, probably. That's why he signed up such a long-term deal. So in 7 years, when the market's gone way up, you already got your guy and you got him signed. He ain't going nowhere. But that's a lot of money.
But if they're struggling 6-7 years from now, then you're locked into that.
Pujols,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody says that. I just sent a picture of this to iHeart.
See? You're like, see a little arrow on it?
Manny Machado.
That's what the market's paying.
Market value.
Get ahead of the market here.
All right, that's what's up. Thank you guys. Go follow us at 25 Whistles. Will this be the last time we ever see Coleman in our life? That's the question.
Oh, I
in
hope
person.
not.
Surely I'll be swinging back at some point.
At like noon
NCAA
today,
tournament
Eddie gets a
time.
call. Hey, somebody call me on.
Who is this?
All right, you guys. Eddie, go ahead and blow us out of here, buddy.
You got it, man. Here we go.
All right, we'll see you guys Friday.